Hey everyone, it's SimiBuilds. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be building a pet cemetery or like a graveyard kind of space for your Sims to visit, so another community lot. It's Spook-tober, so hopefully lots of spooky builds coming up in the next month, and I'm really excited to be building kind of like creepier stuff this October, so get ready, there's going to be some really exciting builds coming up. I just wanted to let you know that this build is actually completely custom content free. So I've mainly used items from the base game and the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. So there's actually no need to download any CC for this one. It's all Maxis. This build was actually suggested by one of you in the comments of my last video, so thank you so much for the idea. I love hearing what you guys want to see, so if you've got any build suggestions, definitely leave them down below. I'm always looking for new inspiration, so it's always worth leaving a comment. Alright, so let's get into the build. So the idea behind this was to create a like peaceful yet slightly eerie pet cemetery. Something that could either blend into like a more traditional graveyard or stand alone as its like own lot. So I've kept the colour palette kind of muted, like lots of greys and like greens, and I've just used white for the exterior of the actual like kind of church thing on the outside. So you'll notice I used a lot of landscaping later on as well to make it feel like quite overgrown and a bit abandoned, which I think adds to the like spooky atmosphere I was going for. So the church is actually like my favourite part of the build. I say church, it's not really like a church, it's just like the main building on the like graveyard lot. So I just wanted to give the space like an old weathered feel, like it's been here for generations. It's quite a small church, but I feel like it adds like a little bit of charm, and I've used the like textured wallpaper from Cats and Dogs to make it look a bit weathered and worn, and I've used the arch windows from, I think they're literally base game, I don't think they're from any pack. I think they were just added in later on to the game, but it almost gives it like that like small town kind of gothic creepy vibe, which was the kind of feeling I was going for the whole lot. I thought this would be like the perfect lot to build because of the new Life and Death expansion coming out. So I think that comes out at the end of this month, I'm pretty sure. But I thought this build would be perfect for it because obviously the pack is kind of introducing the whole like idea of like proper death in The Sims 4. So I thought like having a graveyard, and like even though this is a pet cemetery, obviously when the pack comes out you could change it to whatever suits the pack, because I assume there's going to be like graves and things from the trailer, but you can never be too sure with The Sims 4, so we'll wait and see. Are you guys excited for the pack? Because I don't know, I always get a bit worried when The Sims 4 releases a new pack now, but I know a lot of people are really excited for this, so we'll just have to wait and see. But it is coming out at the perfect time, like they've timed that very well to come out around like Halloween. So yeah, I basically focused this lot on pets, so lots of Cats and Dogs items, but don't worry if you don't have the expansion pack, this is still a fully functional lot with just base game. You can just swap out the Cats and Dogs items with base game alternatives, so pretty much everyone can enjoy this build. And I know a lot of you prefer builds without custom content, which I do a lot of builds with custom content on my channel, but it's always nice that people on console can also download this lot. And there's no extra downloads or hunting for CC, you can just place it in your game and you're good to go. But yeah, this is definitely one of those builds that I think can work in like different kind of worlds. So I built it in Brindleton Bay. In the upper left hand of the map, it's the lot that's next to, I can't remember their name, but they're a couple with a dog, I can't remember their name. If you want to know what lot I'm building on though, it's in the left hand corner of the screen throughout the whole video, so if you want to know where to place this, if you want to place it in the same lot I did, that's where you place it. Yeah, it would work in Brindleton Bay, or I think it would look really good in like Forgotten Hollow, or even I don't normally place any builds there, I don't ever normally build in the world, but in Granite Falls, is that the one that came with Outdoor Retreat, I believe? But I think they're just like in the middle of the forest vibe really suits this. That's why I've added a lot of like trees around the outside to make it look like it's in the middle of nowhere almost. If you did want to download and place this build, my EA ID is the same as my YouTube channel, so SimiBuilds, but you can also join my Patreon, which is completely free to be a member, and you can download the tray files, which some people would just prefer to place it in the world that way, but it's completely up to you. All the information you need is always in the description, and if it's not, just leave a comment and I'll let you know anything you need to know. So yeah, while working on this, I kept thinking like how much detail you can actually add with like just a few items. Like sometimes the smallest thing, like just stones, or like even like the landscaping in the game, like can really bring a space to life. I don't know if people prefer like simpler modern builds, or if people prefer it to look realistic, and I don't know, like that's how I prefer my game to look, like it's actually like lived in and realistic, but I know a lot of people like to keep it a lot more simple. But yeah, Cats and Dogs is really good for that. Like they've got all of the items in the live edit objects menu, which I've used as the like fence around the graveyard, so there's really cool items like that if you want to add that kind of detail to your game. So yeah, tucked around the side of the church kind of space, we've got like a little crypt. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm gonna say crypt. This is where I leaned into that kind of old cemetery vibe. So it's got like a little space inside, which I thought would be dedicated to like kind of like a rich sim with their pet, because it's a little bit more fancy. I feel like this is an expensive grave to have. So it's a little bit over the top. There's like pedestals and like flowers later on that you'll see me do, but the space is just like a bit mysterious, and when I furnish it later, you'll see how I've kind of made it look a little bit more fancy than the other graves around the lot. In terms of the layout for the like actual graveyard, I did a side on the left of the build that is kind of almost like newer, like it's like very well not landscape, but there's like a path going all around, and all of the graves are kind of neatly laid out, and there's benches and things that your Sims can sit at and like mourn their pet, obviously. But yeah, I created a central monument kind of memorial centerpiece that your Sims can visit. So it's the statue from the Cats and Dogs game pack. So you'll see it there. It's like the two dogs, I think, like facing each other. I just think it adds a bit more detail to the space, and like having the little like statues around the place makes it feel almost like, you know, like I don't know if they have this in other parts of the world, but the angel statues that are always in like cemeteries and graveyards. I wanted that kind of vibe with the like dog statues, and I put a couple more statues around the lot as well. And then to the right side of the lot is a slightly overgrown, worn down, maybe the older part of the graveyard. So all of the graves are placed kind of sporadically. They're not really in a line, if you get what I mean. They're kind of just like all over the place, which I see in a lot of old graveyards near where I live. So the older part will be kind of overgrown, and like the graves will be very tight together, just as like they were running out of space. But kind of sad, but yeah, I wanted that kind of element of realism, and like it's been almost forgotten about. You'll see lots of like overgrown plants, almost like nature is kind of like reclaiming all of the graves, which I thought was kind of adding to the spookiness as well. So that's about it for this build, guys. I'm going to be working on the interiors of the builds, but there's not much else to say, so I'm going to leave you with some nice music, and you can just watch. If you've got any ideas, please leave them down below. I love building suggestions, and maybe your idea will feature in the next video. If you've liked this build, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps get my videos out to more people, so really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!